So this was an odd little food carry that consisted of things I had left over from South Lake Tahoe that I bought in abundance, like these Fit Crunch protein wafers and these Bobo's PB&Js, and then things that I just added in Soda Springs at the general store, like just typical snacks that I like. They didn't even have peanut butter that I could see. It didn't jump out at me, so Pop-Tarts and banana chips for breakfast, and I have trail mix in lieu of peanut butter. I had these Stroop waffles left over from South Lake Tahoe, and I got that dinner in South Lake Tahoe, so I had that left over. But it'll work. Plan on taking a big chunk today and hopefully getting as close as I can to the access road to Sierra City, and I'll top off at the general store there to get me to either Quincy or Bucks Lake. I don't think I've decided yet if I'm going to keep going with the small town expensive resupplies and shorter food carries, or if I'm going to duck into a bigger city and get a bigger food carry and have a heavier pack but save money. So we'll see. I like the idea of both. I like saving money, but I'd love to have a 2-3 day food carry instead of 4, 5, 6 days for a change of pace. It's nice to be light. So we've been back on trail for a minute, but that camp was so bad. I still can't get over how viciously I was ambushed in 1 hour from 6:30 to 7:30 yesterday. But that camp was so bad that I just wanted to walk away from there. I didn't want to even take off my rain gear. I did take off my bug net and stuff that in my hip pocket before I left camp, but just throw the pack on with all my rain gear on, hike away a little bit, and take the rain gear off here. On days like that, I just leave the rain gear outside of my pack in my tent just to remind me, don't even bother trying to break down your tent without your rain gear. You'll get eaten alive. I usually pack as much stuff into my pack inside my tent as I can because I'm comfortable in my tent. But all in all, it was a good camp. It was not flat, but I tent surfed, but I was able to get a decent night's sleep. I'm going to take some time to massage my muscles around my hips and my lower back with my trekking pole before I get started, because even though I slept okay, rolling around on the tent floor once I deflated my air mattress, I could feel my lower back was a little tight. No pain, just tightness and discomfort. So I want to take care of that, and then we'll get after it and try to hike about 25 miles today to the doorstep of Sierra City. And even though we've been on the trail, we're back on the trail, because now we're gonna get into a hiking rhythm and find our pace this morning. If I can find a spot where I believe there's no bugs, I'll filter this 1/3 liter of water and get the knock off the top of my pack. It's a weird place to carry it. I've carried it there before, but you hear a lot of sloshing water. I like that they have this sign letting you know 0.3 down the road there's water. I haven't seen a lot of that on this trail, but on this stretch, it's nice to see. So
who knows? There could be nothing in here. But I'm coming up on a road and I just saw somebody drove by. And I don't know why, my mind went to trail magic. And this is always hit or miss. Oh, it's retired trail magic. It looks like it was delicious though, whatever that red stuff is, I don't know. There's almonds. There might even be some almonds in there, but I'm not gonna eat them. Who knows if that was trail magic or somebody that went camping abandoned their cooler. But that's life on the trail. I have a good amount of switchbacks to go down for a little while here, but I'm not loving it because it's all kinds of rocky. And this is not my favorite terrain, downhill, loose rocks. A little while ago, I rolled my ankle twice in a very short period of time. And, you know, rolling your ankle happens just about every day, but it was just the way that it happened one after another. My ankle actually bothered me for a few steps, and I was a little nervous about it. But my knee doesn't hurt, but I would say my ankle feels fine now. I don't know if it was an hour and a half ago, but my knee does feel off. So my right knee feels spongier, just not as strong as my left knee. Like I'm well aware something happened. My right hip is feeling off. That's the side that my right back, the right side of my back tightens up. So I don't want to be a mash unit of just all these little nagging injuries that don't necessarily hurt, but you just feel off because that's what leads to getting hurt. It all piles up. So your body is protecting something. You might not know what, but there's an underlying something that is about to give. And all these little things, you know, like there's a saying, your knee is at the mercy of what your ankle can allow, meaning ankle mobility, and what your hip can control, meaning hip strength. So my back is bothering me on the right side of my back. My right hip is feeling off. I'm walking all day with a pack on, and all of a sudden my right hip can't control what's going on, and I roll my right ankle. The terrain has just been sloppy and messy and bad a few times today. This is another one of my least favorite things, brush, where you can't see what's under your feet, and what's under your feet is loose rocks. Pretty sure this is similar to where I rolled my ankle twice, walking through bushes and stepping on the wrong rock. But, I mean, sometimes my knee feels pretty good, like right now it's not bothering me at all. But I don't love the idea of going downhill on loose rocks. Last time I looked, we were about an hour and a half away from water and probably 3 hours away from a good place to camp, which would be 2 miles tomorrow to get to the road to get to Sierra City. So just trying to take it slow and get to all those places I just mentioned in one piece. Drop down in elevation, and it's no longer loose rocks, it's dirt. Still switching back, but at least we're on dirt now. This is a pretty water source. I'm 0.2 from the creek I was heading towards. It flows down and it pools in different levels like stairs. So I'm just filtering some water here. I've been using the Canuck because that Fuji bottle is no good. I'm debating whether I should soak my feet in these pools. So I chose to stay here and give myself a foot bath. You can see I kind of need it. Mix up the coffee. I'm filtering 1 more liter while I sit here. but you gotta take care of your feet. So a foot bath should be good for me. It is cold. It is very, very cold. Ah! Should be at the tent site 2 miles away from the road to get into Sierra City in an hour and a half. So around 6 o'clock, even with this break. Trail's been a lot of this today. Not bad, just maybe a little too much of the same thing for me. But the deep pine woods with pine trees is always beautiful and peaceful. That foot soak went a long way. I just feel like it woke up my feet. So, I mean, when I stood up, my back felt a little stiff from sitting there for a minute, but you gotta take care of your feet. Like I said, it's hard to explain because you don't think about how your feet feel unless they're tired. But my feet feel fresh. They were tired. And now they just feel rejuvenated, which is nice. Knee feels better. It'll still talk to me, but like I said, it just doesn't feel as spongy, but it does feel off with every step. You know, the left knee feels a lot better. But I think I'm fine. Just gotta be careful. I don't want too many tiny little injuries. Well, the comment that I read on Far Out, I either misread or it was on a different waypoint or the commenter wasn't clear. They said 0.5 from the junction after I stocked up on water. There were some flat spots, so a half mile, and there's nothing flat. This is a steep ridge down and a steep ridge up, and there's nothing flat about any of it. But anyway, I'm pushing on. The problem is, the closer I get, I'm a mile away from the road now, the more you can hear the road. And I don't love camping that close to a road because anybody can park and walk out here really easily. It's like a 15-minute, half-hour walk. And the later it gets, the less good they're up to if they're walking out here. So I don't like camping close to roads, but we'll see. I made my choices. So there's a bridge that there were a lot of comments about it being fixed and it being okay. It just looked like it was hit by a log. And you can see right there in the middle where they patched it. It's a pretty intricate part of the bridge. If there was something wrong with that, I don't know if I would have wanted to cross this one if it was compromised at all. I'm just sitting here filtering water. I'm going to eat dinner. And then I'm going to decide. I don't know if I want to wait until dark and sleep here. It's too close to the road. Or just walk into town and time it so it's dark and just sleep at the store without asking permission, or sleep in the church. A lot of people sleep on church grounds. And if you can't find someone to ask permission, they're usually okay with it. Because you go to hell if they didn't want you there and you stayed there. It's like 7:53, and I'm not comfortable staying at that spot near the water tanks on the side of the road for a couple of reasons, but I'm just gonna walk into town, and if I time it right, I'll get there about 8:45. Maybe there's already hikers there. So I'm at the visitor center, and I don't even know if this is really happening. I don't know what that was.